the floor. That's to improve science and so on, doesn't it? But are there any renewables that are more attractive than others in terms of what they're made up of? And is there any room for improvement on the carbon footprint of creating renewables? I mean, like component parts and that sort of thing.
Great question. What we need to keep in mind is we don't compare just renewables to renewables, but we need to compare at this point renewables to fossil vehicle to a normal diesel engine car, let's say. The entire carbon footprint, always room for improvement, but if we take the two options, it's very clear that renewables, or the cleaner option, the cleaner solution, is not only better in terms of carbon emissions over its entire life cycle, but also offers a lot more benefits to the consumers who are actually investing their money into these products.
And so, I mean, broadly, it does sound like a very good news story, but we are a news hour, so we do sometimes look at the gloomy side. Just a word on coal and other gas reserves, because the war in Ukraine has led to some governments actually looking at opening up coal fields and other gas resources again. Do we know whether that's still likely to carry on in the foreseeable future?
That's an interesting question. I think it comes down to a sort of short-term reaction, not being
shaking up traditional gender roles in the workplace, in politics, and at home.
I feel that attitudes are slowly changing.
Agilson Power at bbcworldservice.com/documentaries.
And a quick reminder of our top story this hour. The deputy mayor of the besieged Ukrainian city of Bakhmut has told the BBC that there's fighting now in the streets of the city as his country's forces try to repel Russia's assault. More details are hard to get from the Ukrainian military, but our correspondent James Landale is in the capital, Kiev, and told this programme what he's been able to find out.
The British military intelligence in their daily update saying that Bakhmut is now under increasingly severe pressure, with intense fighting taking place in and around the city. Particularly, they say that the Wagner group, the mercenary group, have made further advances into the northern suburbs, and they also say that Ukraine is now reinforcing the area with elite units.
One other headline, the head of the International Nuclear Watchdog is in Iran for talks after his inspectors there found near weapons grade uranium particles. This is Rebecca Kesby with NewsHour, live from the BBC World Service. And let's take a moment to look ahead now to the National People's Congress in China, which is kicking off this weekend, going into the week. The 3,000-member NCP is China's parliament and is going to be discussing all sorts of things this week.
Also, there would be a protocol for ensuring that the environment remains safe, even in the presence of new or emerging activities or impacts. Branch of, sort of really enhancing capacity and technology transfer, sharing the possibility of high seas research for everyone.
So a lot of this then is about hypotheticals and what the potential of the high seas could be in years and decades ahead. And is that one of the stumbling blocks then on an agreement? Because these discussions have been going on for quite some time, but they always seem to run into sticking points.
There are many very technically challenging aspects to this, and you are correct that some of this
Institute of Environment and Sustainability. Bringing us to an end to this edition. Join us later in the day for another one.
This is the BBC World Service with The Invention of Russia.
We're telling the